I'm Alan, and this is my 1990 Mk2 Golf. Here is an incline where it always dies. Like now. If you have to emergency brake, it will die. If you just wanna sit at a red light, it will die. So that is super annoying. So this is the engine that will go into my Golf. It's a 1.6 engine code AEK. Found a piece of plastic. Drop it on. It finally looks like an engine. No more problems. I really want air conditioning in my car. I think it's the biggest flex to have a classic car like this with air conditioning. And it will make it much easier to fit all this in. This is the whole brake master cylinder thing from the Passat. Goes in perfectly. Welcome back to ProjectAlan. Last time we cut some holes into my car, and it's actually been more than 3 months since I worked on this car. As you can probably tell, it's winter now and it's cold as hell, but work needs to get done. So today I want to install the shifter in the car. But before I can tell you more about that, I need to get the old shifter out, so let's start doing that by taking the exhaust off. Welcome to the underside of the Golf. So I want to remove the whole exhaust pretty much. So there's just a couple of bolts, couple of nuts to remove them, but they are super rusty, so we'll see how that goes. First, some WD-40, and let's try to remove them. Oh, that is very easy, nice. The toilet bowl is out. Now I need to remove this heat shield, and there's just a bunch of these clips that screw off. So first I need to bend these clips out, and then using a flathead just spin them off. These are pretty rusty and they might break, but I should be able to remove them. Oh my god, it's so dirty. So, 6 clips and it's off. It was probably never off. And with the heat shield removed, we can see the original shift box. So 4 13mm bolts to remove it. And with that, the original shift box is removed. Get out of here. So rust-wise, this place looks pretty damn good. Very happy with this car. So the original shift box is out, and now I should probably explain why are we even changing this. So the original Mark II shift box just feels like crap, honestly. I hate it so much. And the other reason is that the Passat came with a cable operated shift box. But most people, me included, really hate it because the throw is very long and I need to modify the tunnel a bit to make it fit. So if I need to modify the tunnel, I will get something better. Probably the most popular upgrade is a O2J shift box from a Mark IV Golf. It is cable operated as well, and it feels so much better. There's a lot of aftermarket support for short shifters and stuff like that. But the main downside for me is that it's completely different mounting wise to the original Mark II one. And to install it, you need to cut out the original shift holder piece thingy and drill some holes, cut out the hole in the tunnel. I just don't really want to do this method. So the best of both worlds approach is this. This is O2J as well shift box, but it's from Polo 6 and 2, I believe. This exact one was from a Lupo 1.4 TDI, I believe. It was such a pain in the ass to find. It took me almost a year. I was ready to cut the tunnel and just put the Mark IV one in, but I found this for a great price and I am so happy. So sure, the mounting pattern is very different than Mark II, but at least I won't have to cut out the original bracket that holds it in. So I think you'll see what I mean when I show you under the car. Welcome back to the underside of my car. So this beautiful thing should bolt up to G60 Mark II Golfs, some Passats, some, I think Mark III doesn't need much modification, but for the Mark II I'll need to do a little bit of drilling and a little bit of cutting. So let me show you what I mean. With the shift box in place, we can see that it's a little bit too wide and won't fit into the hole. So I need to trim the original bracket a little bit to allow for more space for it to fit into. So I marked roughly where I want to cut, and let's just cut it out. Found some protective glasses, got my angle grinder, let's do this. And this is what it looks like after a little bit of cutting. Honestly, I thought it would fit better than it did, but it will install. So now I marked two holes, I marked two spots where holes will need to go. And here we'll do something a little bit different. So because of where I needed to cut, the blue mark is where the new hole should be, and as you can probably see, there's no space for it at all on both sides pretty much, unless I use very small bolts, which I don't want to do. So I'll need to use these holes with a bracket or something to hold it up. But once I cut near this nut, it got loose, so I will need to weld it in place, but I don't have a welder at the moment, so this will have to get postponed. But for now, let's drill these holes. To install the rear two bolts, I will use riv nuts. So I need to drill two holes that are 11 millimeters in diameter. Always start with a smaller bit that you need. And of course I broke off the bit. Come on! Lesson learned, do not drill with only one hand. So now for the other hole. Wow, how the hell? Jesus Christ, 10 mil drill and I broke it off. How is that even possible? The holes are drilled. The rev nut fits in perfectly, but I noticed that I don't have the M8 adapter for the rev nut gun thingy, so I'll have to pick this up another day. Now I'm gonna clean the area. Cleaned the area and got this little nut welded in. Now I'm gonna clean up my pretty poor cutting and all the rust that I find. Cleaned it up the best I could and removed all the sharp edges. Now time for rust converter. While the rust converter is doing its thing, we need to work on the gearbox a little bit. This is a 5-speed O2A gearbox from the Passat. And well, because we are putting a O2J shifter in the car, we also need to change this part. It's the shift tower. So I got myself a O2J shift tower, and now we will install it. So this is the shift tower that we will be putting in the car. I rebuilt it years ago for my red Golf, but stole this part as well for the blue one. To remove the shift tower, there are two 13 mil bolts that we need to remove, but before that, make sure that the shift tower is in neutral. And as we can see, it is, because if I put it in gear, I can't move it up and down anymore. So before you pull it out, make sure that it's in neutral, and there's some sealer on the surface here, so it will feel like it's glued in. Well, because it is. Still in neutral, and when the seal is broken, just walk it up. Now if you look at the O201 and the O2J side by side, below the mounting surface, they look pretty much the same. Now I'll clean up the surface. And now, because we broke the seal, I will put a tiny bit of RTV around the mounting surface. With the sealer applied, let's try to put it in. With the O2J shift tower, we need to put it in neutral as well. but it has this lockout pin. So you put it in neutral, press it down about halfway, and you can lock this in. And this lock is used to adjust the cables and for installation. We'll see how that goes. This cup has a little ear on it, and there's a cutout for it in here as well. So the weight should be looking at the rear of the car. Line up the ear. Make sure the cup goes in well. And then with some forward and back motions, it dropped in fairly easy. I moved it side to side a bit to help the sealer make one continuous seal. And then just bolt it in with the original bolts. The second bolt is a bit of a pain to get to, so I will remove this arm because it's fairly easy. With it torqued up, let's put this piece back and put on the clip. So now we have a O2J shift tower in our car. While I was researching this exact swap, in some cases this part of the O2O gearbox is slimmer than the O2J. So in that case, you need to replace the bottom cup. It has a Volkswagen logo on it. I will show you in a picture if I can. So if you're lucky like me, this piece will just fit no problem. But in other cases, you should probably buy the bottom cup as well. With the shifter sorted, now it's time to replace the input shaft seal of the gearbox. If you remember the cleaning parts episode, you would remember that this area was completely black and soaked in fluid. So I'm pretty sure this is the culprit, because the car's rear main seal didn't look that bad, even though I still replaced it. So I bought a new one, and let's just put it in. When looking at the new seal, it looks like it should just pull out. Let's see how that goes. Oh, that was very easy. Man, the gearbox oil looks awful. Gonna put some oil on the O-ring on the outside, because the inside seems to be pretty lubricated. Just a very, very thin layer. And let's put it back in. And lastly, these bolts need to be tightened to 25 Newton meters. And with that, the gearbox work is complete. The rest converter did its thing. All these purple bits. Now I just need to paint this area. With the paint dry, time to install the rev nuts. And here are the rivnets installed. Nice and shiny. And with that, time for a test fit. After quite a lot of adjusting, it's finally in. The rear two bolts are perfect. I don't really like the solution in the front, so I will probably just build a bracket that connects these 2 points, but it's solidly in there, pretty damn good. Now let's see how it looks on the inside. And on the inside it looks pretty freaking awesome. Absolutely no light leaking around the seal, fits perfect and feels sturdy. It feels pretty good, but using my armrest as a point of reference, I believe this shifter is a little bit further back than the Mark II was, and I find it a bit uncomfortable. You get to first, but to get to second, the wrist makes this huge angle, not very comfortable, but I have solution for that as well. So, this is the Polo Lupo shift box that we've been working on, and I feel like the shifter handle is a bit too far back for a Mark II. So I have a solution for this problem, and because I don't have enough shift boxes, I bought another one. This is a shift box from a Mark 1 TT, and Volkswagen did some interesting things to it that will come in our favor. As you can see, on the Polo shift box, the shaft is straight, and for a Mark 1 TT, Volkswagen moved it front a little bit, like a centimeter or so, and I think this will help a lot. And also, as a bonus, it's already threaded for an original Mark II shift knob. So I think I'll just disassemble it completely and try to remove this piece and put it in the Polo shift box. The Polo shift box is in a way better condition bushings wise, so I'll try to keep as much as possible from the Polo box. So first of all, let's completely disassemble this one. To start, let's remove the bottom plate, and there are a few of these bent clips that I need to bend back to remove it. And with that, the bottom plate is removed. Next, I want to remove the cables, and there are these nice clips here on both cables. And to remove them, you just lift the part with the hole and it slides out. Next are these metal clips that hold the cables on the housing. You just pull them out, and both of these clips removed. Next, just pry off the ball joints. And with that, cables just release. Next are these two bolts. With the bolts removed, this bracket comes off. Then we're gonna pull up on the shifter and remove the bushing. Bushing removed. found a random nut in there. That's fun. And with a bit of maneuvering, the shift handle is out. With the Audi TT shift box disassembled, the same thing needs to happen to the Polo one, just much more carefully. Now if you look at them side by side, they look pretty much the same, just the kink in the front is different. Next are these two studs. They are in completely wrong place for the Mk2 center console to put on, so I want to remove them completely. I tried to spin them. I thought they might be threaded in, but they're not. They seem to be riveted in from the bottom. So let's drill out these spots. And here they are removed. They have like a hex thing in them that locates it, and then they rivet it from the other side. With that done, time for reassembly. And because I cleaned up the grease inside, I will use the TT housing to look where Volkswagen put grease in the first place and copy it on this one. Got myself this bushing brand new. Well, this was a bit tricky, but I got it in. Next, the bushing somehow. And I think I got it. Next is the plate. So after assembling it, it feels very tight, almost too tight, going front to back. Now I'm not sure if I should leave it and just hope that it will wear in, or to put the old great condition one. Let's think about it. So I decided to put the original Volkswagen bushing back inside because it has absolutely zero play in it and it feels great. And then I realized that I put this zinc plated brackets backwards, so that's good as well. So we're done with this part. With the shift box reassembled, the next thing that we need to pay attention to are the cables. So the ones that I got from the Polo are in a pretty sorry state. This anti-vibration thing is melted, this one is missing, and it just looks crap. But thankfully the Audi cables have these anti-vibration thingies on them, and they're in nicer condition than the Polo ones, so we're gonna install these. And just feed them through the hole. Put the clip back. This one is on a ball, so need to press it down. Here it is clipped in. And the retaining clip. And the cables are installed, and it feels awesome. And lastly, let's install the bottom cover. And with that, our shift box is done. I painted the area and cavity waxed the shit out of it. Now let's install the shift box. I'll be using Loctite on all the bolts so they don't come out. Also made a little bracket to tie the two front bolts together. So hopefully the pressure will be a little bit more even. And here's the shift box completely installed. Now gonna spray it with some more cavity wax to stop the rust. But let's go up top and see what it looks like there. Welcome to my improvised interior. So the shifter looks amazing and feels amazing. I put in a center console just to see if everything is close to where I want it to be. And with the TT handle, it's in a perfect position. And as a bonus, the stock shift knob just threads on and looks great. Now the center console has no way to mount because there's not a single mount that matches up, but we will worry about that later. So, thank you so much for watching and see you next time when we will probably do some fuel stuff. Bye!